Hello, my name is Ari Brudzinski and I work as the Communication Manager for the Central Baltic program. In this video, we will have a look at some key communication requirements that you need to be aware of when you're implementing a project with us. We will start with some rules of thumb, and these are the things that I would like for you to have in the back of your head all the time when you're implementing the project. And upon these rules of thumb, we will go into more details and have a look at some specific cases related to communication. Let's have a look at the first rule of thumb. All of this comes from the program manual. The first thing is that you have to disseminate information about what you're doing. Don't forget to tell about it. Second point is that communication is a common responsibility throughout the project. That's good to remember. And thirdly, all our projects do have a common communication message. And what this basically means is that remember to tell boldly about the change you are initiating with the help of ERDF funding. In practice, this means that please don't put the funding sources into the footer, as sometimes is the case, but rather if making a press release or an article, say something along the lines, thanks to help from the EU or the Central Baltic program, we were able to do this. So that's basically what it means. And as for the second rule of thumb, if you don't remember anything else from this presentation, remember this. Use the flag. This is the most important reference. And another thing to remember as a rule of thumb, you do have to guarantee the availability of results also after your project has been closed. Now, we already had a look at the flag of the European Union, but what are the actual references you need to use in almost any instance? And it's quite simple actually. You need to have the flag of the European Union together with the text to reference European Union. In addition, you need to refer the funds and also the program. So that's basically it. However, if you're having small items such as pens, where you physically don't have space to put all the references on, then you still have to use the flag with the text to reference European Union, and you can choose between the program logo or your own logo. These are all the logo files that we are using. They are available from our website, so you can download them as one big zip file or separately. And these are also the only files that are allowed. You see also the black and white versions here on the screen. In some cases, if you are printing something and you have limited amount of colors, then you can use these two color versions of the logos. But basically, wherever possible, you should use the color ones. About sizing. If there are other logos in connection to the EU flag, the flag has to have at least the same size as the biggest of the other logos when measured in width or height. Now this can be a bit confusing, and we actually in our FAQ we have an entry that addresses different scenarios regarding logos. But it's good to remember that there are some size limitations when using different logos, especially the European Union flag. Also, when you are inserting references into your communication materials, for example, remember that they have to be well visible. Well visible doesn't mean hidden inside pages in the brochure, but rather on the cover. Then another thing to mention are project websites. Many of our projects are creating websites with the funding from the program. And there it is good to remember that on such websites, the EU flag in color, together with the text European Union, must be visible without the user having to scroll. Now this is quite important to remember, and easiest way to actually do it is to use the full reference. That says European Union plus the reference to the Regional Development Fund. Another thing we get often asked about are billboards. And in the Central Baltic program, all projects that receive over 500,000 euros ERDF have to set up temporary billboards at each infrastructure investment. They can be proportional. If you are developing small ports, then you don't need to put a gigantic billboard at every port. And also if you are having multiple operations on a single site, then one billboard is enough. There are quite a few requirements for the billboard, namely the name of the project, objective, and so on. And for this I recommend checking out our FAQ on the website, from which you can find more and detailed information. Finally, also related to our website, if you go for the project section there, you will find a guide for communication, and within there this table that summarizes the required references. Basically what you need to take home from this slide is that you need to use the references. And again, this is the website that has been mentioned quite a few times already. And these are the 3 places that you should be aware about. Under the 4 projects, as mentioned, you can find the FAQ, guide for communication, and within there the reference table. Under documents, you can find the program manual and also the logo files. And finally, if you click on our projects, that will lead into the project database. And it is important to remember that in the project database, we actually collect various data from all the projects. It includes the basic things such as the summary, funding, and so on and so forth, but also pictures, media visibility, and things like that. Here's an example. And finally, if you have communication questions, don't hesitate to ask. We are here to help you. Thanks.